Hello again, hockey fans. Are you ready to brave the wild with me, your host, Paladino Joey, or Joey Awajan? Brave the Wild is available on all of your favorite podcasting apps, and I thank each and every one of you once and always for downloading and listening to the show, and of course, especially for being a part of the Hockey Podcast Network. THPN. Really want to thank Dylan and Kyle for having us on board that awesome network and webpage. Thank you so much. The Hockey Podcast Network. Very proud to be a part of that. It's a great pleasure to be back on board with you once again today. Kind of a gloomy, kind of gloomy, not really. A little bit semi-gloomy sky. The Wild kind of had a semi-gloomy week as well with a nice finish. And Kirill Kaprizov becoming the all-time leading goal scorer in franchise history. Very cool indeed. We'll talk about that in around the Tampa game. I'm going to try to make this a little more topical because there's topics all over the place, trade acquisitions and such, and was it a waiver claim? And, they're not the most exciting moves in the history of the world. The games weren't all that exciting except for, at least the Wild beat Tampa and, of course, opened strongly against Colorado. So you beat like two really high-end teams and then get throttled by Utah and St. Louis. Go figure. Didn't really get throttled by St. Louis, but Utah, that has been a tough matchup. St. Louis historically has been a tough matchup pretty much forever as well. Remember how the Wild opened up the season with that 5-0 shutout and then went into God knows where, like the doldrums of basically hockey hell for a while there. And St. Louis had decent expectations there and have been a major disappointment. Then all of a sudden it's like, St. Louis has really been struggling. The Wild should be able to take care of them. And then guess what? They didn't. And then St. Louis beat Seattle the other night as well. So St. Louis has definitely been playing a little better lately. So good for them after having a really bad stretch right before beating the Minnesota Wild. Yeah, so where do we go from here? We can open up with some of the games here. Obviously wrapping up the month of February. Definitely want to get topical, so I'll try not to babble too much. But an exciting start to, the rest of the season. You can't say the second half. It's a little beyond that. But a 5-2 victory, of course, empty nets in this one, of course, to make the score a little bit more gaudy. Matt Boldy coming back with his gold medal and getting 4 points, 2 goals, 2 assists. Just an amazing return to the Minnesota Wild. Kirill Kaprizov with a couple of assists. So it's like, you want to see him get past Gabrick, but he didn't quite do that. Not going to happen. Other players that have kind of vanished off the face of the earth of late. Of course, it doesn't help when they're out of the lineup on occasion. But Marcus Johansson, that's one I should bring up right here. That's kind of part of the topics as well. Again, as I want to be more topical here, what happened to Marcus Johansson? I almost forgot about him. I'm not even kidding. And yes, it's one thing like, gosh, he hasn't scored since, January, and stuff like that. But it's like, but basically the whole month of February it wasn't a month of February, in in the NHL. But Johansson had 2 assists against Montreal on, what am I looking at here? This doesn't even look right. Okay, he had 2 assists versus Montreal on the 2nd of February. Okay, but then again, you had that huge gap. But still, he has definitely quieted. His most recent goal was, January 15th. That's the surprising thing because there have been a number of games since then. It looks like about 15 games since that was against the Winnipeg Jets. A 6-2 loss, too. It was a goal where, at least somebody scored, and we appreciate it. He hasn't scored a goal since then. Other than that, he's kind of disappeared. He's kind of back to the Marcus Johansson that we were all frustrated with before. He doesn't look like the guy who's like, man, what a steal he's been this year. Obviously making less than $1 million a year. Coming back on kind of like, okay, it's kind of like a take it or leave it. If you really, really want to be back here, here's $800K. And you're probably going to be a 4th liner, maybe 3rd, so on and so forth. And then he kind of just outplayed other people and became, including Liam Ogren, much to our chagrin. Then again, he ended up being part of the Quinn Hughes trade. As I digress back to Marcus Johansson. And Marcus Johansson looked like a legitimate second line forward. Background noise, if you heard it, no comment. Seriously, what is... I'm sorry, that was interesting. But yes, interesting as well. Marcus Johansson, he hasn't, it is kind of funny because it's like, yes, it has been a while. But again, it's also been a while since the team played. There was no games from Feb 4 all the way up to Feb 26. They finally played again, so. But still, again, he has been much quieter. You look at his box scores, you look at his game log, sounds more accurate. And it's like a lot of zeros and, okay, there's an assist. Okay, and then okay, there's an assist. So definitely a quieter Marcus Johansson of late, which is a little disappointing. He needs one more point to get to 40 on the season, which already eclipsed last year by 5 points. So good, good, not too bad, to say the least. Good overall statistics for the season, but yeah, disappointing nonetheless. Yeah, interesting. So, should we look at the transactions and such? I don't even want to talk about the I don't even want to talk about the Mammoth game. We can get into it for a second. All kinds of transactions. Of course, guys sent to the minors are called up and back and forth. The Pitlicks and the Ben Joneses and such, ultimately going back to the minors because it's like, looks like Mr. Guerin would like to upgrade the bottom 6 or bottom 3. It's nice to upgrade the bottom 6 and bottom 3 all the time, but it seems like that's all we do in these trade deadlines. We'll wait and see what happens. Of course, this is the day before the official deadline. The Wild have made a move or two, and they're not all that exciting. But some people like them, and of course we'll talk about it more in the fan interaction. I'll have some brief comments as well. So where do we go from here? The Wild claimed Robbie Fabry, who's played a lot of games. He did win the Stanley Cup with the 2019 St. Louis Blues. Feels like everybody won a Stanley Cup with the 2019 St. Louis Blues. I mean, Mike Modano might have been okay, I'm just kidding. Maybe not Mike Modano. Obviously just being semi-sarcastic. He's definitely had a long, you could say illustrious to a point career. Career high of 31 points with the 1920 Detroit Red Wings, the Detroit Hockey Red Wings. And that was in a shortened season, by the way. 19 and 20, 31 points in 52 games. And then it seems like, that's how that goes. He did play 9 games with the Blues with 1 lousy goal and no assists before that. So that factors in as well. Did really well with Detroit. It seemed like all of his best years were with the Red Wings. Like he spent about 4.5 seasons in Detroit. Did Fabry? He had one small 18-point season, only 30 games, maybe injured and minors and all that. But then 30 points at 56, 16 and 28, 32 and 68, so on and so forth. Wound up with the Ducks, then back to the Blues again. And was waived or released or whatever. Waived, I guess they call that in the Wild. Claimed him off waivers, and he played in 1 game so far against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Robbie Fabry, a first-round, 21st overall pick by the St. Louis Blues in 2014, the year before. The 2015 draft, which is what brought the Wild Joel Eriksson and Kirill Kaprizov. Yes, Jordan Greenway too, but yeah, he's traded away for a second-round pick. Like, we actually gained a second-round pick at one point. Something we don't do very often around here. It seems like second-round picks just get traded away all the time with the Minnesota Wild, whether we like it or not. I just love trading second-round picks. I just love it. Yeah, it's always worked so well for us. Hasn't it, though? Anyhow, Brodin got activated on the 3rd of February. Michael McCarron, speaking of second-round picks. Yeah, second-round picks. Oh, wasn't there one other move, though? There was a minor league move for a defenseman as well, which was nice, I guess. It was a minor league trade. We'll get to that at some point if we feel like it. No, it was a minor league move. Probably not going to play for the Wild, but you never know, I guess. Michael McCarron, though, second round pick for Michael McCarron. Nashville Predators. Okay, so okay, yeah, Nashville Predators. 6'6", 232. Sounds like a Bill Guerin move. Size matters. Yeah, I know. First round pick, 25th overall by the Montreal Canadiens in 2013. So, mid-90s. Well, guys born in the mid-90s is more like it, at least in this case. What am I even... yeah, they were. Now, the other guy was... Fabry was born in 96. Fabry, how big was Fabry? I had it, and then it's like I just stopped because I'm looking at this huge dude instead. Yeah, 5'11", so he's more of an average-sized guy with a little grit and such. So good for him. He can score a little teeny tiny bit. He'll play on the 4th line, if at all. But but then Michael McCarron, well, you hope he's going to play on the 4th line or any line. He's going to play at some point wearing Minnesota Wild, stuff if you're going to give up a second round pick for him because, well, bleep the picks in the second round, and who knows if he'll ever play here, and it takes 4 years. Yeah, but okay, sure, whatever, great. Michael McCarron, yes, he turns 31 in 2 days. So happy birthday coming up, Michael McCarron. Some of you listening to this might be listening to it on Michael McCarron's birthday. So what would that be? Saturday, right? Sounds like fun. Michael McCarron has amassed 74 points in 361 games. Yeah, 74 points in 361 games, but he does have 495 penalty minutes, though. So, yeah. Yep, penalty minutes. Yep, you gotta love him. He gets tons of hits. He has 165 this year, which is a career high already in 59 games and 12 points. But he can win faceoffs, though. So could Zenon Konopka. Could he do anything else? He could make wine. I guess he was really good at making wine, like the vines and such. It was beautiful. Remember Zenon Konopka? Was that about 10 years ago already? I think it's been a minute. It's been a while. I know it's been a minute. Some of you don't like that. It's been a while. Career high, baby. 23-24. Michael McCarron, 12 goals, 10 assists, 22 points, and 23-24. Telling you. 100 penalty minutes, too, which was, too shy of his career high, which came the next year, where he actually had a career high amount of games played the next year, 24-25. That'd be just last season, and 14 points. So do not expect a whole lot of scoring, and whenever he does score, it's a bonus, and it's wonderful. But he wins faceoffs, and he brings physicality, and he is a really good defender. So that's one thing that I like. He's a really, really good defender, and obviously a big bruising son of a gun. At not only 6'6", but 232. I mean, he could be a tight end probably in the National Football League, couldn't he? I would say so. Tight ends are big and mean and tough, aren't they? At least some of them are. Some of them get hurt all the time, too. Let's not name any names or anything over in purple and gold, but yeah, you get the idea. Yeah, we give him a second-round pick for a guy who, well, he was a first-round pick, though, so you got to understand, but yeah, 12 years ago. 6 or 13 years ago. And I can imagine, hey, we traded for a first-round pick, you see. Yeah. A second-round pick for a guy who's a fourth-liner, and it's okay. I don't hate getting him on the team. I just don't like the cost. I don't like the cost. I don't know why it always has to be so damn high. I get it. You don't screw around. You want to make the best offer right away and wrap it up. You don't want to haggle and frick around and then wind up losing and all that. I get it. Sometimes it's like that when you want to get something on eBay and stuff. But I don't know, a second round pick? Well, just don't be offsides when someone scores a goal that can help you win a series this time, okay? Just this guy. Yeah. So Michael, don't do what Gustav Nyquist did last year. And it's just like the year before. Nyquist was a stud, 75 points. Comes to Minnesota, all he really did was make mistakes and stuff, basically, and not score. That's pretty much all he did. McCarron, all right, welcome to the team, Michael. I have no, it's welcome to the team. I hope he's the perfect match and helps us win a Stanley Cup. Did he win a Stanley Cup with the 2019 St. Louis Blues? No, he didn't. But man, he missed some time. What the heck? Or he was in the minors, probably. Actually, that's all that was. Yeah, took him like forever to get to the pros. But once he did, he stuck around for the most part. Oh, God bless him. God bless you, Michael. Yep. Again, I'm nothing against him, obviously. Just, yes, and you're noticing the trend. Tyler Pitlick, Ben Jones, guys like that getting sent down to the AAA, whatever, the AHL, the Iowa Wild, because of these other acquisitions. Because it's like, well, these guys probably are upgrades, I think. Sure. Ben Jones, it took him like 15 years to score a goal in the NHL. I know, I'm semi-exaggerating there. Okay, there's the move. Yeah, Boris Kachuk was the one that was traded away eventually after he was sent to the minors. I don't think he played a single game with Minnesota. I know he didn't. If he did, I'm like, I don't remember it. He might have gotten like a... Yeah, no, he didn't. I was going to say, he might have gotten like a... might have gotten a cup of coffee at best. Speaking of coffee... Mm-hmm. Yeah, delicious. Sorry. Speaking of coffee, mahogany blend, by the way. Those are your acquisitions so far, other than that minor league move, which I'm not seeing, which I'm kind of mad at myself here. I apologize for that. Yes, it was that Boris Kachuk. I knew it was him, but then, yeah, Roman Schmidt is the guy the Minnesota Wild officially acquired. And now I'm making a mess here on my thing. But, yes, Roman Schmidt was the guy brought to Minnesota, defenseman from the St. Louis Blues. So another St. Louis Blues. Did he win a Stanley Cup? with the St. Louis Blues, I don't know. Seems like everybody did. It's becoming a gag here on Brave the Wild. He won the Stanley Cup with the St. Louis Blues, and he did too. And yes, and the Wild acquired Ryan O'Reilly. Guess what he did with the Blues in 2019? That's right. Yeah, you know. Roman Schmidt. Well, he was originally drafted by the Tampa Bay Lightning, 3rd round, 96th overall. I don't know if the Wild even have a 3rd round pick either. I don't know if they ever will. It's like the Minnesota Wild draft this year. All right, so back to you, Greg. Anyhow, so Roman Schmidt so far has played in the AHL. He was drafted in 2021 by the Lightning, like I just said. He's played for the Crunch. He has amassed 7 points in a few years here now. In the from 23-24. He played 1 game. He got an assist. Think about that. He got one of his 7 points in 1 game in the AHL in 23-24 for the Syracuse Crunch. Since then, well, he's played, yeah, they're not showing the total, but it looks like about 70 some games and 6 points since then. So he is a right shot defenseman. And he's 23, so he's got something of a future in the league. We'll see. You never know. You never know. I'm not too hopeful, but you never know. He is 6'5", though. A big bruising son of a gun. Got that size again, 225. Maybe he's the next Bogo coming from Tampa, and he's not 35 this time. So he will skate with the Iowa Wild, and they could probably use a little help, a little size. And let's see if Roman Schmidt can provide a bit of that. I would say, yep, he does have a number of penalty minutes as well. 79 last year with Syracuse Crunch. And he was traded along the season, so he's been moved around. Syracuse Crunch to the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. This was with the he was recently with the Philadelphia Flyers as well, the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. That's the Flyers organization. So it's he's moved around a little bit, but we'll see what happens. Roman Schmidt definitely did not win a cup in 2019. He would have been awfully young. He would have been 16. So no, he didn't. He's a young guy, so at least there's something there. Looks big and tough, and we appreciate you, Roman. Don't beat the hell out of me, okay, for teasing a little bit. I apologize. I don't want any trouble, okay, Roman? Please don't beat me up. Okay. The schedule. Yeah, Utah, the Wild lost 5-2 to the Utah Mammoth. They got trampled. Is it okay to say? The Mammoth are, 7 games above 500? They're respectable. They're hanging on. There's a pretty good chance they make the playoffs. It's a good team. It's just, I don't know. The Wild are supposed to be a little better, aren't they? And the Mammoth were way better. Way better. Jesper Wallstead, definitely not one of his better games, but at the same time, the play in front of him sucked. It was a sloppy, crappy game. Very disappointing. Wallstead did face 37 shots. It's not like he was just like, come on, Wallstead, 18 lousy shots and he gave up 5 goals. What the hell, man? No, he faced 37. So, still, he gave up 5 goals. Vamilka, I think I'm saying it correctly now. Yeah, he was outstanding. Wild would have tons and tons of scoring chances in the game. Well, not tons. They'd have some really good ones. And Vamilka would, shut him down pretty badly. So that was frustrating. Clearly, the Mammoth were a better team, and Vamilka was a big part of it. Cody Keller, great game, 1 goal, 2 assists. Cruz as well with 2 goals. So they cruised past the Minnesota Wild, and Wild had the month of February getting trampled by a bunch of Mammoth. Yeah, the St. Louis Blues looked a lot more like the 2019 St. Louis Blues. Hofer, if I ever say it right. I've been calling him Hofer forever, but it's Hofer. Buchnevich scored the dagger, and it was really frustrating. The Wild were in this one the whole time. They just couldn't get the job done. Hofer was outstanding, as they might say in Canada. At least he was outstanding when he needed to be. He did face 23 shots, which isn't all that scary, but still. The Blues defense, the Blues overall play, they're a well-coached team. And they have some talented players. Snuggerud, of course, former Gopher, with an assist. He's one of the guys that, like Brock Faber, had to be a runner-up a few years back in the championship game because they stayed back rather than trying to finish off trying to finish off the Quinnipiac Wildcats. I'm still not pissed off at that though, am I? No, not at all. I don't mention it like almost every show, but yeah, it was a disappointing game. Wild only managed one lousy goal. Kirill Kaprizov would tie Marian Gaborik in this game. Tie Marian Gaborik in that game, but a disappointment nonetheless. Then the Wild would open up the floodgates a bit versus Tampa. Now, of course, there were some empty netters in this one to make it 5-1. Yeah, similar with the Utah Mammoth. There were some empty netters to make it uglier than the final score was. Or actually, no, those were official goals. I'm getting mixed up. It's this other one here where things went south on the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's where the empty netters came. Yeah, that was a rough one, that Mammoth one. Kirill Kaprizov would score on an empty netter, and there was the record breaker. Marian Gaborik giving him a shout out, doing a nice soundbite saying, really congratulations, you're doing an amazing job. I wish we could have won a cup with Minnesota years ago. I hope you can get it done. I hope you can get it done, Kirill, win the Stanley Cup in Minnesota and go Wild. So that was really cool, hearing Marian Gaborik say that. Very much so. Trennan would have a goal. Johansson finally with another assist. It took him forever. Much to his chagrin, I'm sure. Boldy with 3 assists, just racking up those points. He really is. Zuccarello with a couple of goal and an assist as well. So, yeah, we're going to have to wait and see what happens here. Brock Faber, he's now at 40 frickin' points on the season. The guy is just owning it. He is just unbelievable. Love what Brock Faber has done. 40 points on the season. 40 points for Brock Faber. Wonderful. Kirill with 75. Boldy with 72. Juler's with 42. Pardon me. Johansson's still there, getting his 26th assist last night. And Quinn Hughes with 38 in 30 games. 38 points in 30 games with Minnesota. Hughes would score as well versus the Lightning. Helped to putting him away as the game moved on. Hughes is... it's just been unbelievable. That was his 60th total point on the season, by the way. So... holy mother. It's unbelievable. He's on pace for about 80 points. So, unbelievable player. What a pleasure. What an absolute pleasure. And it sounds like him, the chances of him leaving are actually pretty slim. He seems extremely happy, and he looks extremely happy. Every ounce of his body language tells me Quinn Hughes is going to stay here long term, and that would be wonderful. It would be wonderful. Wouldn't it be cool if the Wild somehow get a Jack Hughes or something? But obviously, that would take some doing. I don't know what else the Wild have other than trading away, obviously one of the few prospects we have left in the system that might do something. Charlie Stramel or, Jesper Wallstedt, who's already in the NHL. But it's been semi-disappointing after a great stretch where he had all those shutouts and 1-goal games and such. But nice to see the Wild get it done. One of my supervisors was also at the game. He loved it. So wonderful. I'm sure he had a great time. And now we'll talk about the arena a little bit. So the Minnesota Wild and St. Paul propose a $600 million remodel of Grand Casino Arena Complex as of March the 3rd, a couple of days ago. Joe Nelson, of course, who used to be on KFAN. Good guy, actually. I don't know him well, just kind of social media and such. But, yeah, looking for upgrades on the arena. St. Paul Mayor Cowley, if I'm saying it correctly, Cowley announced the agreement Tuesday morning. So at least they're trying. That's nice to see that the mayor is even trying to do it. So, and it would be, the cost to the public would be 200 of it, 200 million, which this is an upgrade. This is not a huge multi-billion-dollar thing. I hope the public isn't going to be too offended by this. I put it this way, if I had a vote, I'm voting yes. If I had a vote, I'm voting yes. There's no doubt. Go for it. It's a 25-year-old building. It's a wonderful building. But, technology's changed. It sounds like a lot of it's more of techie stuff. Of course, they would change the seats as well, which, okay, I guess. The seats seemed awfully fine last time I was there, just last year. So, because, yes, I watch games more than go to games. I'm just that kind of person. I can analyze better. So, even though that was a wonderful experience, it really was. There isn't a building in this town that I'd rather go to watch a sporting event than Xcel Energy Center / Grand Casino Arena. I'm not kidding, and I'm saying that with 1,000,000%. So it's a wonderful place. I was there in the second preseason game in franchise history. I mean, emotional just going in there, and I was just blown away all those years ago, and I'm still blown away by XL Energy Center, even though it's 25 years old. Grand Casino Arena, excuse me, but it was still the X last time I went there. So now it's the GC or the G or the Grand. I don't know. It's the casino, whatever it is. About $200 million in public funding in this day and age, especially when you consider other things that have been in the news in this state. By the way, I'm not talking about international stuff. I'm talking about this state. I think it's okay. I really do. So I think it's okay. I don't want to get too political here, but I think it's okay. I would vote yes. If you vote no, whatever, man. Anyhow, the $600 million will be used to update Grand Casino Arena, the St. Paul River Center. So it's not just Grand Casino. $450 is what supports the actual arena, while $150 provides upgrades to River Center, which I almost thought what they were going to call the XL Energy Center way back in the day. I almost thought they were going to call it the River Center, but no, it was a thing close by to it. And the Roy Wilkins Auditorium. So why the hell not? The next step in the process is getting the legislature to approve it. So to approve the $200 million in state funding, $125. So see, the arena's only getting $125 of it. It's not that bad, guys. This isn't $1 billion, okay? And $75 million for the River Center and Roy Wilkins Auditorium. So again, these would be upgrades to the building. Again, technical type upgrades. I'm not completely 100% sure what all of them are. Mostly what you're seeing in this article on Bring Me the News from Joe Nelson is the financial side of it. But yes, it's, technical upgrades and seats and such. Obviously, technical upgrades Target Center needed technical upgrades like it needed to breathe, basically. Years ago, they made a lot of nice technical upgrades in the Target Center years ago, and that was okay. That was nice. But I remember going there in 2015, and they still had tube TVs everywhere. Tube TVs in 2015 everywhere. Not just, there's one or two here and there. Wow, look at that relic from the past. They were everywhere. It looked like it was 1996. Not even kidding. Oh, yeah, it did. But anyhow, we'll get off of that. Whereas XL Energy has always felt kind of like state of the art to me. It always has. XL Energy / Grand Casino. So I'm for it. I hope people aren't too offended with me saying that, but I'm for it. Doggone it. So the Mike Modano Award winner for this episode is Matt Boldy. An amazing week. Looking like he's picking right up where he left off, scoring the first goal in that gold medal game, lifting the puck, getting past two defenders. Kind of like Mario Lemieux, not as spectacular, not as embarrassing for the defenders as it was against the North Stars years ago in one of those. So it was Game 4, I think, where he just undressed a couple guys. It was ridiculous. It's embarrassing. I mean, that was bad. Spectacular play, but didn't feel really good as a North Star fan. When you watch the replay, you're just, when you watch it and watch it and watch it, and you're just like, anyhow, speechless. That's basically the best way to put it. But Matt Boldy, all right, man. Great job. Tomato juice sip to you. I love tomato juice. It makes me feel good in every possible way. The James Shepard Memorial popcornish type of performance of late, but he didn't have the worst week this week, but just generally speaking, he's been quiet, is Marcus Johansson. Appreciate that he got the assist against the Lightning. But my gosh, it's been a struggle for Marcus Johansson. Don't be dipping back into the doldrums again. I can't give it to Wallstedt. I can't do it, so I'm going to go with Johansson here for certainly disappearing of late. It's sad, as he'd been known to do that forever, basically, and hopefully he's not doing it again. We could use you getting back in the mix of things again, unless the Wild are on the verge of some spectacular trade, and you can move him down anyway. Hell with it, So we'll see what happens. With that, we'll take a quick break, come back to preview the 4 games and all of that good stuff, and maybe talk some more trade ideas. And we are back here on Brave the Wild, segment number 2, numero dos, or whatever you want to call it, but segment number 2. Yeah, previous segment, but first we are going to hear from our friends at DraftKings right here and right now. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, is built for the fastest game on ice. With player props and live betting, every shift, every shot, every save gives you options to get in the game with DraftKings Sportsbook. Want to look at some of the lines here? Why not? The Utah Mammoth, well, they're definitely favored heading into Philadelphia. Philadelphia was sure, Philadelphia was sure good earlier in the year. Now the Mammoth are kicking everyone's butt, I guess. We'll look at the money line. Minus 130, the Mammoth, or the visitors going into Philadelphia, would be a plus 110. Tampa Bay Lightning, who recently got throttled by the Wild heading into Winnipeg, they're minus 185. So you might want to, you could bet the Jets. I'm not going to say what to do. Plus 154 for them. Nashville and Boston pretty close here. 105, minus 105 for Boston, who are visiting the Predators, or minus 115. That would make them slight favorites. Islanders got beat recently heading into Los Angeles, despite Kevin Fiala being out for the year, who are heavily favored, minus 135. Interesting one there. Calgary Flames, this will be the last one. They're at home hosting the Ottawa Senators. They just recently traded Weegar away here. They're at plus 142. Ottawa's very heavily favored, minus 170. Maybe put some money on the Flames. Maybe. So it's an interesting proposal, to say the least. New customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus in most states. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gambling resources, see dkng.com/audio. Limited time offer. Copyright 2026 NHL. All rights reserved. So we will get to the upcoming games if humanly possible. Vegas Golden Knights. Friday night. Vegas Golden Knights in Las Vegas. I like that later game. A lot of you hate the late games, but I like them. You know why? Yeah, because my work schedule. Otherwise, you have to rewatch and such and analyze things. It's nice to just watch it. Otherwise, the Wild will play a matinee on Sunday on TNT. 1 o'clock. We'll get to that later. I don't know why I jumped ahead like that. Vegas Golden Knights are 10 games above 500. The Wild are 20 games above 500. Wow, we're that much better? Cool. This is in T-Mobile Arena. It's hard to believe because Vegas is looked on as a pretty good team historically. This will be a regular television watch for the most part. Obviously, ESPN Plus if you have it, which is wonderful. Love that. Comparisons. We'll go to the injury report first before anything else. Minnesota Wild, Marcus Foligno. So that's one of the reasons partially we're getting the big guy in here helps. Foligno did not play on Tuesday against the Lightning. He's considered day-to-day. Marcus Johansson upper body, so now he's hurt too. So, okay. But that's day-to-day. Whereas Foligno, it says injured reserve, but he's considered day-to-day. Wrap your head around that one. Oh, God. Mark Stone again. Biggest golden... Oh, man. William Karlsson, way back on November 10th. Injured reserve, and then he will be week to week. That was as of Feb 4. So, all right. Carter Hart, the former Flyer. Injured reserve. This was of Jan 8th. But then there's an update. Vegas Golden Knights said on February 24th that Hart was transferred to long-term injured reserve. Ouch. Brett Howden, similar thing there. Long-term injured reserve. He's been out since early January. But same thing on Feb 24. Brett Howden. Jonas Rodberg, injured reserve, did not play on March 1st against the Penguins. He's been out since the beginning of February. Mark Stone, day-to-day. Stone did not play against the Red Wings on March 4th. He's been out since March 3rd. Alexander Holtz, and huge respect to Lou Holtz, by the way. A moment of silence. He passed away yesterday at 89. He'd been in hospice for an extended period. So Lou Holtz, a moment of silence. God bless Lou Holtz. Alexander Holtz, day today. Holtz did not play on March 4th versus the Red Wings. Thank you for that information. Alice Pietrangelo, injury reserve hip as of yesterday. Interesting. So Vegas will have some guys out, most likely. Foligno will probably not play in the game. As for the comparisons, the Wild and the Vegas Golden Knights are a goal apart. Wild have one more goal than Vegas. Wild are 8th, Vegas is 9th. Power play, the Wild are 4th in the league. Wow. Vegas is 5th. So pretty even match there offensively. Goals against, the Wild are 10th. The Vegas Golden Knights are 22nd. Penalty kill, the Wild are 21st. Vegas Golden Knights are 9th. Penalty minutes, both teams staying out of the box very nicely. Wild have the least penalty minutes in the league, which is polar opposite to what we used to be in the Dean Evison era. And 30th in Vegas. 30th in Vegas. They're pretty disciplined there as well. And yes, you can see John Hines is more of a disciplined guy, where Dean Evison, like, stay out of the thing box, yet he was kind of a crazy person. So God bless Dean Hines, Dean Evison. Dean Hines. Dean Hines. Boy, am I on a roll today. I'm always on a roll, aren't I? Jack Eichel with 69 points in 54 games. Yep. Bringing home that gold, or didn't he? Didn't he? Yep, Mitch Marner. Yep, there you go. 62 points for him. Mitch Marner is not Austin Matthews. Matthews brought home that gold medal. Yes, he did. Mark Stone in 43 games, 60 points. Like, he's just a wonderful player. Like, he misses time, but man, when he's healthy, he's so good. I just love Mark Stone. Tomas Hertl, the former Shark, of course. You heard that one a million times. 62 games, good job in that category. 53 points for him. 24 goals, which is second on the team. Pavel Dorofeyev, who's one of the prospects that finally did something in this organization rather than just free agents and trades. 49 points, so 29 goals to lead the way. 29 goals to lead the way for this Golden Knights franchise. This looks weird. Why does everything seem backwards to me? It really does. Schmid has been in the net. Akira Schmid is 16-8. His goals against average is .256. Pretty respectable. With 2 shutouts on the season. Aiden Hill's been kind of in and out. He's been kind of the backup / platoon / whatever. He's not been good. 3.42 goals against average. Carter Hart similarly 3.28 goals against average. He's just been disappointing, unfortunately, for Vegas and for him, really. I'd like to believe the Wild can beat the Golden Knights. I would. I say kind of semi, like, why not? Why am I not clicking on stuff? Stupid. I had it up. Didn't make any sense. The Wild are leading the season series 2-0. 3-2 win back on November the 16th. That was an overtime victory, and then one of those empty net type of deals. 5-2 win on December 29th. Can the Wild sweep the season series versus the Vegas Golden Knights? We're actually beating them again. Remember how for the first several games, the Wild kept beating Vegas, and then they started beating us and beating us and beating us. It's been a back and forth kind of historically. Vegas had lost 3 in a row before beating Detroit 4-3 recently. All road games for Vegas. This is a homie for them, so good for them finally getting at home. Yeah, that was a pretty good game versus Detroit, actually, and though there were a lot of milestones in Detroit, and they celebrated Patrick Kane as well, being the greatest scorer in American scorer in NHL history, passing Mike Modano. Yeah, Patrick Kane Award, right? Pretty much. The Wild will sweep the season series. The Wild will beat the Vegas Golden Knights Friday night. It'll be a fun one. 4-2 victory for Minnesota, an empty netter to get things rolling. Most likely guy to score for Minnesota in that one will be Boldy. I mean, what the heck? Why not? Why not keep going with Boldy? Colorado Avalanche, TNT, national television. Should be a fun one for sure. Injury report for the Colorado Avalanche. The Wild have a couple of wins versus this team this year. One of them was an OT, so the Wild had to give up at least 1 point there to Colorado. And the next one was a regulation win, which does not happen very often against Colorado, to say the least. Oh, man, what did I just do? Sorry, I'm pumping stuff here. Sorry. There we go. Okay, I'm going backwards. Logan O'Connor, June 6th. He's been out forever, so that's unfortunate. June 6th. Joel Cavarenta. Sorry, that wasn't that hard. Concussion protocol as of Feb 28th. That sucks. So hope for the best there for Joel. Arturi Lekkonen. Expected to miss some time, basically. He was out for March 3rd and is expected to miss some time. So no real major information there, which rarely happens in the National Hockey League. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Something's popping up that's driving me a little crazy. Yep, I got everything set up for once. Otherwise, the comparisons and such. Let's look at the season series real quick. Yes, Minnesota is up 2-1 versus Colorado, which is amazing. Maybe we beat them in a series. I got a feeling this one's going to go the other way, though. Colorado has won 3 in a row after losing to the Wild 5-2 after the return there. They'd beaten the Utah Mammoth the night before, so they were coming back on a back-to-back, which helped the Wild's case. And then in the opposite thing, the Wild played Utah in a back-to-back, and they beat us. So it's kind of funny how that turns out. Otherwise, the season series has been a 3-2 shootout victory versus Colorado back on November 28th. That was exciting. December 21st, Colorado smashed the Wild 5-1. Remember that? And this recent game, just this past week, 5-2. I don't know. Well, we'll come back to it. Colorado's number 1 in the league in goals. Number one in assists, too. They have the worst power play in the league. Remember, I was bringing that up last time. I was like, what the hell? That was last week. Goals against, they're number 1 in the league. Yep, those 2 goalies have been doing great. Penalty kill is 3rd in the league. So they're great at controlling things, and yet they score goals, and their power play sucks. So they pretty much score a 5-on-5. They're the second best team in the league at staying out of the box. Only 3 less penalty minutes than Minnesota, who's number 1. So Colorado got mad after losing to the Minnesota Wild, beating Chicago, Los Angeles, and Anaheim 5-1 just recently. They just smashed them. So kind of funny in a sense. I think Colorado beats the Wild, unfortunately, something like 4-2, maybe an empty netter, 5-2 or something, or 3-1. Yeah, I think it's going to be like a 4-2 type of thing. Most likely guy for Minnesota to score in this one will be Zuccarello will score, but the Wild do not win against the Colorado Avalanche. Utah Mammoth. Oh man, do we have to do this again? I've had enough of this nonsense. Yes, it's time to do something here. This is a home game on Tuesday, the 10th of March. March 8th is my brother's birthday, by the way, so he would turn 48. Wow, we're getting old. Where's our cane? But he's in awfully good shape. I wish I could say the same. Mackenzie Weegar was acquired by the Mammoth. Not injury related. He's out because of maybe the trade finalizing, basically. So Mackenzie Weegar is the only, player on the report, basically. So knock on wood for Utah. Just in respect. Happy for them that they have guys healthy. So Mackenzie Weegar's been acquired from the Calgary Flames, basically. Utah leads the season series 2-0. How about that? 6-2 smashing way back on October 25th, and the Wild were awful. And, it was kind of similar. Wild were not awful on February 27th, but they played awful in that game, 5-2. What do you think is going to happen? Well, we'll see. Funny how we're playing these same 2 teams again, but that's okay. Utah 6th in goals, 26th in the power play, 5th in goals against. Yep, Vamilka has been wonderful. Man, he's tough. Penalty kills 22nd, and they get a decent amount of penalty minutes. They have the 12th most penalty minutes in the National Hockey League, so decent amount. Tampa, did I just say Tampa? Utah has been kind of a back and forth. Beating Detroit, losing to Colorado, beating Minnesota, losing to Chicago 4-0. Wow, beating Washington 3-2. You lost 4-0 to Chicago, didn't you? Interesting. Well, guess what's going to happen here? What do you think's going to happen here? Are you ready? The Wild have had enough of this BS and win this game 5-2. What do you think of that? The Wild return the favor. 5-2 victory for Minnesota. A hat trick for Kirill Kaprizov. I'm predicting a hat trick for Kirill Kaprizov. So if you want to do one of those bets on DraftKings, go for it. I'm not saying that's exactly what's going to happen, but I'm just, having fun with predictions. If you want to go for it, go for it. A hat trick for Kirill Kaprizov versus the Utah Mammoth. It would be a very crazy feat, and if they pull it off, then Go me, I guess, for making that decision. Yes, Mackenzie Weegar, there it is. It's flashing on the screen. Oli Mata, Jonathan Kaskangaga, three second-round picks. Some of them were acquired from other teams, but they're all in 2026. So the Mammoth had 3 second-round picks. You'd think they'd want to keep one of them. Wow, they dumped all of them. Jeez. Mangiapane. But I thought Mangiapane was already on the Oilers. Okay, no, he was traded to the Blackhawks. Okay, that's what happened. Yeah, interesting. We'll see if there's any notable moves coming up today and tomorrow. Something's going to happen. You keep hearing about Vincent Trocheck, but the Wild will beat the Utah Mammoth. Let's keep moving. Gotta go. Philadelphia Flyers. Interesting matchup. Yeah, it's an interesting one. They're 28, 21, and 11. They're kind of on the outside of the playoff thing. Again, like I always make fun of people that talk about it's so easy to make the NHL playoffs. Not anymore. Nick Steeler's day today, former Minnesota Wild defenseman, stud. But I keep getting him mixed up with Carson Soucy. He's on the Islanders. Nick Steeler's been on Philadelphia for a while now. He's been all right. Tyson Forrester, injured reserve, going back to early December. Rodrigo, injured reserve, fractured right ankle. Ouch. I'm sorry. That was in mid-January there. And Travis Konecny, remember him? Day to day. We'll see what happens if he plays or not. Philadelphia Inquirer. Ryan Ells, injured reserve back. Great. I got these stupid idiots making noise again. God. But anyhow, Philadelphia Flyers, 24th goals. 29th on the power play. Goals against average, goals against 17th. Penalty kills 15th and 7th penalty minutes. Philadelphia did beat the Wild 2-1 last time, unfortunately, way back on October 18th when the Wild were stuck in pretty bad. It was a disappointing loss. Like, come on, guys, do something. Do stuff. Philadelphia has won 3 in a row, though. They're kind of trying to fight back into the postseason, and they're beating teams they need to do that. 3-2, we don't need to say the scores. They beat the Rangers, the Bruins, and the Toronto Maple Leafs, respectively. So, good wins for Philadelphia. They're playing pretty well to their respect. Dan Vladar, who's been pretty darn good, 2.4 goals against average. Yeah, obviously the other guy, Samuel Ersson, has not been so good. He's got a goals against average of about 3.5. And Kolosov has gotten into a couple games with a 4 goals against average. Not a single shutout for this team, but Vladar showing some great consistency of a goals against average of 2.4 and a save percentage of almost 91. With no shutouts. So great consistency. Jamie Drysdale, who was so highly touted, 25 points. He's a defenseman, of course, in 57 games. Yes, I was kind of saying it correctly. Travis Konecny is leading the club in scoring. He's kind of a day-to-day right now. 57 points on the year. Trevor Zegras with 50 points in 60 games. And Owen Tippett with 36 points in 60 games. So God bless those guys at the end of the day. The Wild will beat the Flyers. The Wild will beat the Philadelphia Flyers. In my opinion, I think it's going to be it'll be kind of a close one. It'll be back and forth. Might go to overtime or something. We'll say it does go to overtime, and the game-winning goal goes to Joel Eriksson Ek. Joel Eriksson Ek scores the game-winning goal in overtime for the Minnesota Wild. I hardly ever mentioned him, and he's one of my favorite players ever. I love Joel Eriksson Ek, and I hardly ever talk about him scoring goals, which is sad. He's a good player, damn it. He will score the game winner against Philadelphia, 3-2. 3-2 win. The Wild go 3-1 this week. Hopefully they go 4-0, but I don't know. It'd be a nice feat if the Wild could pull that off. But I'd rather they go 4-0 in the postseason and start sweeping some people. And not only do the Wild get out of the first round, they sweep their way through and are ready to rock and roll for the second round and hope for the best there. So possible players coming to Minnesota, who knows? I mean, you hear about Vincent Trocheck, you hear about Ryan O'Reilly. Would I be sad to see Charlie Stramel gone? Of course, because I think there's a future there. Whereas I don't know how much longer Vincent Trocheck is going to be as good as he is. Obviously a nice player. Ryan O'Reilly's up there in years as well. Trocheck is 32. He's been incredibly consistent, and he wins face-offs and all that, and he was a gold medaler, and he is an Iron Man, a lot like a certain guy that the Wild ended up not getting last year in the postseason. The Avalanche gave up a lot and then signed him for a ton of money, and he's been spectacular for them. And a big guy who stays healthy. That'd be Mr. Brock Nelson over there in Colorado. He's a gold medalist as well. So remember all those legendary gold medalists that we talked about for all those years, and it's like, man, he was on that Olympic, he was on the 1980 team, and now you get to look at players on the Wild, and maybe we add another one with Vincent Trocheck, which would be pretty cool, I have to admit. On July 11th, my friend Matt's birthday, not 93, we actually hung out on that day. Me and Matt hung out. Oh, no, we didn't. That was my birthday, 29th, 93, sorry. But that same year. Trocheck was just a tiny little baby. Isn't that weird? He's a 32-year-old now. You look at him as this wily veteran player. Tells you how old some of us are. Some of us Gen Xers are getting old already. Well, all of us, actually, because I'm a very young Gen X when you consider others. But enough of that. Mr. Trocheck has been an Iron Man. Knock on wood. Knock very hard on wood. Stay healthy, Vincent. He was a member of the Hurricanes for a few years there. Panthers for a long time. He's been a stud in this league, and if he's skating for Minnesota, it'll be nice. I just hope the Wild don't have to give up the farm to get him. Of course, Bill Guerin tends to give up a lot of picks, but we'll see. Apparently, there is an offer just kind of sitting there on the table. It's already there, and if somebody beats it, then so be it. It's one of those kind of things. Otherwise, maybe the New York Rangers will say, "All right, that's the one." And Trocheck comes to Minnesota at the end of the day, so we'll see. It must be a bidding war of some sorts going on. Or at least New York is hoping for a bidding war one way or another. They're going to try to take the best offer they can, which makes sense for their organization. Trocheck is a Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania native. That's why he was on the U.S. team and not Canada or something. So, yes, that's where he's from, Pittsburgh. Cool. Looks like a Pitt guy. Definitely tough, solid, and could have one heck of a career for the... well, probably can win a Stanley Cup for Minnesota is what I'm trying to say. But... it's just cool to think that there's 3 players on the Wild right now that are gold medalists. I mean, it's one of the coolest things ever. You know, like back in the day, you'd say Neil Brodin, and then maybe some other guys that skated with the North Stars after that. It was fun and all that. But, you know, and all these guys have so many years left in their career. Like Boldy, Faber, you know, so cool. Quinn Hughes, amazing players. Now you might add a veteran like Trocheck to the mix, so we'll see. But we'll see how that goes. We'll look at the prospects extremely briefly. I kind of went long here already, and I need to get moving for my own sake of time. I wish the people upstairs would shut up, but they won't. So frustrating. Every time I do this show, these have people over. I don't know why. Can't you just go to fucking work? Yeah. Does everybody have to work, not work or work second shift or third shift? God. It drives me crazy. Carson Lambos might be included in the trade. We'll wait and see. He might be included in a trade of some sort. He has 16 points for the Iowa Wild so far. They've certainly been playing better. Oskar Olsson's been good. Yeah, he's second on the team in scoring with 26 points. Nicholas Audrey-Kubel is now the official leading scorer, but he's 29 years of age. David Spacek's at 21 points. Riley Heights got 5 goals on the season. That's it. And he's a minus 14, but that's getting better. Iowa's generally been better this year. Generally been better of late, but they're still like way down at the bottom in the standings. So it'd be quite a comeback. Maybe some of these veterans that were sent down there can help stabilize things. Carson Lambos is a minus 4, again, which is very respectable on this team, this Iowa Wild team, considering the circumstances. So, Juracek is now at double digits. So yeah, he'd been chipping in some points lately. Nice to see. 2 goals, 8 assists, and he's a minus 15, which is not good, but it could be a lot worse. Jack Pert's a minus 15. He's at 14 points. So he's been more productive than Juracek, but in way more games. So Juracek, hopefully you're starting to see some signs of life there for David Juracek. Let's move quickly here. Or at least freaking attempt to at some point. Some of these guys like Ryan Healy. Yep, 12 points. He's 1 point behind last year. Pace. He's a senior in college. We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, his college career is about to come to an end. I got to think it's March. And I don't think Harvard's going to make the tournament. I don't think the Gophers are either. So we might see Healy skating with Iowa at some point. Iowa Wild or the Heartlanders. We'll wait and see. He might go to the Heartlanders first, for all we know. Regular Rams. Denver is more than likely going to be a contender like they always are. 28 points, a couple of points behind a career high if he is able to eclipse that. 13 goals, 15 assists, and he's a plus 20. Regular Rent's taking a nice step forward in his senior year with Denver. He also could be skating with Minnesota at some point in the not too distant future. Jimmy Clark in his junior year with the Gophers, Minnesota Gophers, of course, only 4 goals this year, 16 total points. He's even on the year, way below last year. Gophers actually had a strong season last year, but, died right away in the tournament. That was dumb. Dumb as dumb as dumb. It was dumb, yes, I hated it. I don't like the way this is behaving. Michigan, Kalen Parker, Michigan Tech. We'll see how they do. 11 points for him, a right shot defenseman for them. Aaron Pionk, Minnesota Duluth, he's got 10 points. He's kind of stuck there. Duluth always a threat, though. He's 23 years of age. He's an older college player for the most part. No, he is an older college player. Charlie Stramel, of course, in Michigan State. I keep wanting to say Wolverines. I don't know why. Michigan State. He's a 6'3 player. I would hate to see Charlie Stramel traded. I'm not even kidding. As weird as this might sound, 2 years ago, it would have been like, oh my God, we could include him in a trade for a nice player. Go for it. Now it's like, I'm not in a huge rush to trade away Charlie Stramel. I've got a good feeling about this kid. He's going to be a nice player. He might be the next Vincent Trocheck. Who knows? He's also, he's a 6'3 guy too. He's a bigger version of him. St. Paul Native. 41 points for the Spartans there. 20 plus 29 on the season. He's been absolutely spectacular, and they've been good too. It does help when you're on an actually good team, though. Wisconsin was pretty lousy, to say the least. I don't want to babble too much here. Kiwi Haru at 15 points. He's one behind a career high, if he can get it, from last year of 16. Kiwi Haru, Aaron Kiwi Haru, obviously in the system. 6 goals, 9 assists there. Kind of bouncing around. Ryder Ritchie, isn't he with the Boston University? God, this is not behaving, man. Every time you want to get going, stuff doesn't cooperate. 16 points for him for Boston University. In 33 games. Not too spectacular for him, but he's got the time to improve. God bless him. Justin Kipke, he's at 13 points for Arizona State, and he's a minus 10 for the Sun Devils. Unfortunately, he's an older college player as well. Carter Klippenstein is with the Brandon Wheat Kings still, I believe. Yes. He's matched last year's numbers. Good for him. 28 points for him in 38 games versus 58 last year. Definitely a physical player with 74 penalty minutes. That's a career high as well for the Brandon Wheat Kings in the WHL. Lirim Amadovsky, I'm getting it right, finally career high in everything. 21 goals, 20 assists, 41 points in 57 games, and he's a +7. Career highs across the board. Not a point-to-game player, but physical, but ability to score too, clearly. We'll see if he can get to the next level here pretty soon of some sorts, be it one of the 2 Iowa teams. Though he's 19 years of age, he will turn 20 next year. So, or at the end of December. So he will be in the juniors still, unless something changes. Adam Bennick, I don't think he's going to play for the Wild, Minnesota Wild or anything. Adam Bennick might. Who knows? Probably not. He's only 18. He's about to turn 19 on April 10th. 63 points with 40 assists. 40 of those assists, and he's a +15 for the Brantford Bulldogs and the Ontario Hockey League. And the final guy, the youngest guy in the system. Numbers are kind of the same as last time around. He's got 3, I guess. 3 points in the Swede 1, 3 assists. He's a -16, so a long way to go for him at the end of the day. He was a second-round pick, 52nd overall last June. So interesting to say the least there. With that, we'll take a quick break and return for some fan interaction. And we are back here on Brave the Wild, segment number 3, fan interaction. Let's get to it ASAP here. I was talking about the McCarron trade and all that, and Derek jumped in, which is very welcome. I could almost save it for the lightning round will come up in a minute. He says, your annual Minnesota Wild deadline trade for a big bottom 6 forward. If he can win, draws, and throw his weight around without looking like a boat anchor on the 4th line, it might be an okay move. But it still feels like we throw away second-round picks at the deadline like bad candy. I agree 100%. Yes, I agree 100%. We throw away second-round picks like bad candy. It has like F them picks or whatever. I don't like I don't like that strategy, the F them pick strategy. I don't. I get it, you want to win and everything, win now, and they are winning now and stuff, but I wouldn't just throw picks away. I wish these people upstairs could walk quieter or just go somewhere else. Wouldn't it be nice? Oh, Derek's disagreeing with something. Let's see, what was it about? Was it with someone else? Okay, he's responding to someone else. Yep, Wild versus, yep, this is an interesting one. So I'll read this together here. Wild versus Lightning. The Ugly. The Wild acquired a big bottom six forward, and Michael McCarron was classic. Unfortunately. So was tossing away a second-round pick for a guy who is probably a rental. Yeah, that's expensive for just a rental, and it's just a bottom six anyway. It's not like you're... See, like a healthy... Like, if Gustav Nyquist played good, if he played well like he did the last time we had him, it wouldn't have pissed me off as much. Especially if he helped the Wild win the series, and who knows after that, you know? Instead, he helped the Wild lose the series. Continuing with Derek's comment here, Fabry looked okay in his debut, and that was against the Lightning, of course, as did Brodin, who hadn't played in a month. Joe, it's Hockey Joe 123, says, "Get over the second-round pick. Most second-rounders don't amount to much. This pick is 2 years from now, if he even plays in the NHL. It will be 5 to 8. Nah, I don't agree with that. Come on. The fourth line needs a huge kick in the ass." Derek says something that I probably would say too, at least at the beginning. I disagree. Just those two words right there. Yeah, come on. There are lots of great examples of quality talent taken in the second round. You don't care about it? Great. But I think it erodes the quality of your draft classes by continuing to just throw that pick away for deadline rentals that fail more often than that. Exactly. They fail more often than they succeed. That's what's been happening. We just kind of throw them away, and it's disappointing. The only thing worse is the Martin Hanzal trade, a first-round pick, and Hanzal was like re-signing Martin Hanzal would have been laughable. Like, you're going to re-sign him? Ha! Yeah, that would have been ridiculous, for lack of a different word that starts with an R. Don't want to use it. Ridiculous is a better one. Joe responded with the last Wild second-rounder to make an impact was Greenway 11 years ago. I'm old enough to remember dumping a first-rounder for Hanzal. Yeah, that was bad. Derek was saying, Marat Huznadinov could have maybe been an impactful second-round pick if we didn't just throw him in as an afterthought in the Brazier deal. Yeah, that was stupid. We've thrown away a lot of second-round picks since then. So, yeah, there's a little bit of back and forth, but, yeah, I mean, I'm not real thrilled about throwing away second-round picks either. I'm not. Poll came up. Yep, a poll came up here, Derek's poll. I didn't put one out this week, which, you know, I just went in the... I didn't put polls the last 2 weeks. I think I just kind of went with the bat signal. I kind of go back and forth. It's polls or bat signal. Derek says, what do you think of the trade, the McCarron trade, basically? The four trades were a good help for the fourth line. Rather have kept the pick, Justin Brazeau 2.0, and hopefully this isn't it. I said Justin Brazeau 2.0. At least that's how I look at it. You're trading away, which is who's a Dinov second-round pick type of thing. And I don't know. I'm not all that hopeful that he's going to be helpful, but maybe he will be. I hope I'm wrong. So I'm sure they will discuss that on their upcoming show coming up more than likely this weekend. So looking forward to that. Jay Bushy doing a little Dan Gladden here, getting that base hit, getting a double to open up the bottom of the 10th inning in 91. It seemed like he says it seemed like a steep price to get him. That would be, I was talking about like what do you think about these trades and stuff so far? Steep price to get McCarron, but hopefully his play justifies it. And I'm hoping so, Jay. I really am. It does seem expensive. The Derek Felska lightning round has returned. Always a pleasure to hear from Derek. Again, the Crease Assist podcast. Looking forward to that show. Like I was saying, probably a good one coming up this weekend. But they're always good for sure. Here we go. So, Minnesota Wild winger Kirill Kaprizov recently passed Marian Gaborik as the team's all-time leading scorer, knock on wood. It's only a matter of time before he passes Mikko Koivu as the franchise all-time leader in points. Do you think they'll ever take number 9 down? Like the actual take down the retirement thing? Probably not. They shouldn't have put it up, but yeah, it did seem excessive for what Mikko Koivu did. I know a lot of Wild fans out there probably are like, oh my God, how can you say that? But no, I'm kind of with you. It's frustrating. Morty says, The better question, will he score more on 5-5? 6 open net goals, 15 power play goals. We need the old Kirill Kaprizov back. And yes, I agree with that. I think we could use the old Kirill Kaprizov back for sure, to say the least. Yes, I think so. Continuing. If Quinn Hughes re-signs with the Wild and his career continues on the same path, will he be remembered as the best player to ever lace him up with the Minnesota Wild? If he continues on the career path, I say yes. I think I say yes. Then again, it could be, the only other player that it could be is Kirill Kaprizov. But right now, I think the best player is Quinn Hughes. Right now. Like, gun to my head, Quinn Hughes is the best player on the Minnesota Wild today. So, I would say yes. I would say yes. Yep. I should throw that question out, and if you do a bat signal or something for crease assist, I'd like to hear your thoughts on that as well, Derek. Yeah, that's I think so. If he continues on the same path, yes, I think he's the best player in the Wild history. That's saying a lot, considering how great Kirill Kaprizov is. Sometimes he's injured, though. Sometimes he's inconsistent. It's the boys' state hockey tournament time. Which team do you think will reign supreme in Class A, and which team will reign in Class AA? I'll get back to that in 10 seconds here. I'll do the last one first. Do you think Nico Sturm and Vinny Hinostroza's days with the Minnesota Wild are numbered at this point? Yes. Yep. Looks like there was a reply. Wild MN North Star, good chance, but injuries may delay it. Yeah, that's possible. Yes. That's a pretty good answer. There's a pretty good chance, though. That I think they're numbered at the very least, yes. Sturm, maybe he'll stick around a little bit longer. Hinostroza, I think, is, like he even said himself to Russo a while back, that he thought his days were kind of numbered here because just the situation. Like, he hadn't been playing all that great, and they're maybe kind of tired of the lack of production, that type of thing. So, as for the boys, Class A and AA, well, we got Class A pulled up here, and yep, it's fun. This kind of stuff is very fun. Isn't Warroad the defending champ? They have they recently beat Northern Lakes 5-0. Warroad's the defending champ in this one. Delano, well, no, they were the number 2. They beat Mankato West 6-2. Number 1, Hibbing Christholm 4-1 over Dodge County, and Matamidi, number 4. They won the title a few years back, didn't they? I like Matamidi. I do. They're, what are they, 4th, though? They're the 4th seed. So, yeah, they're the 4th out of these 4 teams. I got a sneaky feeling, though. Yep, they got to get past Hibbing Christholm. I think Matamidi is going to win the single A. I got a feeling it's going to be Matamidi. Warroad is the defending champ. They have all the respect in the world. Who knows? It could be Delano or Hibbing Christholm, but I'm going with Matamidi. They're already at the Final Four, which is pretty cool here. So, gotta love that. Sorry, I'm going crazy. Let's get to that AA here. AA. Yep, they have not played their first round games yet. Number 1 seed is Minnetonka, the Skippers, 24-2-2. Genkry Arena, Academy Arena. What's wrong with me? Minnetonka is most likely to get to their Final Four. Grand Rapids and Rosemont. I got Rosemont there. Yeah, Grand Rapids is barely above 500. We'll see. Who knows? Maybe Rosemont gets upset, but probably Rosemont versus Minnetonka there. Moorhead. Did Warroad win last year? It's Moorhead that won. I get those two mixed up all the time. I'm an idiot. So my apologies. Moorhead. Lakeville South. Oh, for Neil, I would love to see Lakeville win. Neil Nate Thesing, that's where he's from. But Moorhead's probably going to win that. It's you guys are going to hate me at who I'm going to pick. Let them eat cake. Edina's playing a team in Andover who, they overachieved and got to the tournament through winning in their tournaments and achieving getting there. So they got to the tournament with an 11-14-3 record. Would be a wonderful story, but Edina's going to beat them. They're the number 3 seed. I'm going with Edina. I'm going with Edina and Matamidi for the 2 championships. I know you're probably like, again, Joey? Yeah, I'm going with Edina. I'm almost tempted to say Moorhead, though, because, they did win last year. I get Warroad and Moorhead mixed up, and I don't know why, other than I'm just weird. They're completely different. So I feel stupid about that, and I apologize. Minnetonka is clearly the best team, but I don't know. How often does it happen? Well, Maybe they will win, but I'm going to go with Edina. Maybe they'll be out in the first round here with Andover, or quarterfinals. That's not much of a first round, but I think Edina goes all the way and wins this thing versus Minnetonka. You're going to have an Edina-Minnetonka final, and Edina winning the whole enchilada, I think, once again. So, yep, Kurt Giles, the former North Star. I mean, gotta love it. Gotta love it. You gotta like the North Stars, and that Edina kind of looks like them. That's why I like Edina. I know I'm a dork that way, but... And plus, well, I went to a school that was owned by Edina years ago. The Edina school system years ago, so it was owned by it. It was like the building was owned by it, and I always saw that logo and everything, and it's like, yeah, Edina's gonna get it done. I like the Hornets, dang it, I do, and they're good every year, and they're in it every year, and they deserve respect, in my opinion. So, with that said, thank you so much, Crease Assist Podcast. Love you to death. Love you to death. Minnesota Wild Global, of course. Love you guys to death as well. Just love you to death. Polo Burnett and Justin Bakke. You guys are absolutely awesome. Absolutely great. I know Justin Bakke says there's no design about giving up the second round pick. It's like, really? But okay, well, hope for the best here with the big guy. So that's what we can do. Otherwise, maybe if there's anything crazy like a Jack Hughes trade or something, we'll be back on air, just like we were with the Quinn Hughes trade. Other than that, we'll talk about something else that happens. If it's not quite as crazy and earth-shattering, we'll talk about it next week. And hoping all of you the best. Stay healthy, Wild, and let's win some more games.